Destination people always seem to find the magic and the mystery in this beautiful world. Don't get left behind.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Tom Anderson, and this is Webinar on Wednesday with Destinations Together. As always, a warm welcome to our Zoom listeners and cruise line executives that are tuning in. Here are some key news items for the week. The new COVID cases continue to increase, but more slowly, with a record-breaking 6.3 million cases in the United States and 27.6 million worldwide. Meanwhile, in the United States, students are headed back to school as officials at every level try to minimize COVID outbreaks. The results are mixed and vary widely across the country. Our fingers are crossed. Seatrade Global will host its first ever virtual conference this October. This will prove to be very interesting, so don't miss it. More cruise lines are finally sailing again. Back on the high seas are TUI, MSC, Costa, Seadream, Ponant, Dream Cruises, Hapag-Lloyd, and Paul Gauguin, all very encouraging. Despite the increase in COVID cases, the news in the United States is increasingly encouraging regarding a vaccine. Likewise, this is having a positive impact on the travel and leisure sector, so consumers are exploring ideas for their next vacation. In a recent Harris poll, 16% say they would take a cruise almost immediately. Of course, there is still plenty of work to be done. Destinations Together has been doing its part by focusing on education for your teams through webinars on leadership, creative brainstorming, guest service techniques, restart strategies, and the GBAC course. The Vox products offer tour operators a totally new business opportunity that is in line with new post-COVID protocols and will generate incremental revenue. We have highlighted products like Aegis that work 24/7 to help ensure the safety of the tourists and service providers alike. Nevertheless, the pandemic has truly reshaped how we all think about travel. Without a doubt, biosafety of guests and workers is the #1 concern. The restart of travel and cruise tourism will rely heavily on our collective ability to make every aspect of travel experience safe. Today's webinar will feature a wearable technology that is particularly suited for the cruise industry and has many applications to help keep cruising and travel safe. This technology, called Glass 2 thermal detection glasses, are ideal for frictionless observation and evaluation of a high volume of people to quickly identify specific aspects, such as an elevated temperature. Our speakers today will provide a comprehensive overview of this cutting-edge technology. Today's presentation is hosted by Destinations Together, which is an open platform of relevant information and collaboration to support the tourism industry. It is designed to help everyone connect, collaborate, and hopefully find solutions to bridge the gap until cruise ships and tourism return to your region. I'll turn this over to Larry to share some important information and then introduce our speakers for today's Destinations Together webinar on Wednesday. Larry?
Hey, thanks, Tom. We want to thank you all for joining us today. First off, we want to recognize Danielle Barb for her presentation on August 26th, leveraging social media. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. It was a good one. Also, check out all the rest of our previous recorded webinars and PowerPoint presentations on our website. Before we begin, let me remind you of a few important housekeeping items. We are recording the webinar and we'll upload it to our website in the next few days. There is a Q&A tab below on your screens. We look forward to getting your questions that we can pose to Felipe and Tony for their feedback. We encourage you all to vote on the questions listed in the Q&A to help ensure we include the most important ones to you all. Please remember, we and our guests are only providing our opinions and possible sources for further intel. We're happy to have Felipe Lopez and Tony Murray of Terrace Consultancy. Felipe and Tony, go ahead and open up your videos and unmute, and we'll go ahead and let you speak here in a second, but let me just give a quick overview. Glass 2 thermal detection glasses is a high-tech wearable that can accurately and reliably assess the temperature of up to 10 people per second. This high-volume thermal detection solution is ideal for cruise, check-in, embarkation, debarkation, embark, debark, and any protocol, shipboard thermal monitoring, and daily use of travel-related industries. Welcome, Felipe and Tony. So glad to have you with us, and look forward to this exciting technology. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Tony.
Okay, thank you very much, Larry, Tom. We're going to talk to you a little bit about biosecurity, but namely in relation to thermometry. As we know that there are, when it comes to any sort of security, and particularly when it comes to biosecurity, there's no magic element or magic bullet which meets all the needs of what we're looking to do to protect ourselves. And there are layers of protection, like anything. And with those layers of protection, that might involve, HVAC systems, could be disinfecting programs, antimicrobial programs, UV light, and so forth. But then we also know that the thermometry is a big part of it. All of us out there, we've come to a point where we've had the thermometer check with our temperature. Somebody will come up to us very closely and check our temperature before we go into a particular venue and anything. There are many different types here, and each one has its own merits, but they have their specific functions as well. And going back to the layering, like we were talking about before, there really needs to be a packaging of protocols that best suits the needs of the individual entity or the venue that's looking to protect itself. In the case of thermometry, there are needs of each particular unit, where it might be the handheld. It could be, if you've been into an office building or a doctor's office, where you have the short standing thermometry there, where it'll ask you to walk a little closer, a little bit farther back. It has the facial recognition of it, which is great for a single use or single person thing. That'll graduate up into freestanding units, perhaps if you're at an airport where there are larger units that are there. What we're presenting here with the Glass 2 is something that, while each of those have their functions and they're great within themselves, this in itself has a portability component to it. You're able to move it to many different places very easily. And not only does it do the thermometry with it, but it also has capability of doing facial recognition as well as QR document scanning and so forth. So you get a lot of bang for the buck on it. Before me going on any more explaining this, I think the best way we can do this is present a video with the Glass 2 that we have. Then after the Glass video, we'll conduct a PDF, and then we'll show you the glasses up closely, on the video monitor here as well.
Introducing Rokit 2's second generation Glass 2 thermal detection glasses. These glasses are the superior choice for rapid, safe, unobtrusive temperature screening at busy, high-traffic public spaces. Ideal for cruise ship and ferry operators, maritime terminal buildings, airports, theme and attraction parks, resort hotels, event and expo venues, and mass transit transportation. Glass 2 measures in real time and accurately scans individuals at a rate of 10 per second with high reliability. The glasses constantly calibrate using artificial intelligence algorithms for ambient temperature, assuring accurate readings in any setting. At an average distance of 2 meters, or about 6 feet, temperature can be monitored at a safe distance. And screening is unobtrusive, with no contact, no bother, no delay for those being monitored. With more rigorous safety precautions and protocols being employed globally, Glass 2 is an excellent complement to your ongoing efforts. Glass 2's open SDK can be programmed to integrate apps for QR scanning, facial recognition, license plate recognition, and real-time image sharing. Using Glass 2 is crucial to optimize time and work efficiency in places with high flows of people. Glass 2. For more information, contact us at info@glass2.biz.
Okay, thank you for showing that, Larry. As you can see, this device here is made for high volume environments. As stated before, when we're dealing with thermometry, there are those units which are perfectly fine for low volume traffic, but this is for high volume. As you can imagine, check-in scenario at a pier terminal, if it's using shipboard, if it's enter and exit points from a ship that, let's say the glasses, aside from reading the temperature because of a cruise line's particular facial recognition technology that they have, their own proprietary. It can be interfaced with the shipboard systems there. So effectively, if anybody's coming on and off of a gangway, the security at the gangway, all they have to do is just look at the individual, the guest embarking the ship. They can read their temperature, they can get checked in, and they can come back on the ship. You know, in venues outside of that, so let's say like theme parks and so forth, the guide can wear the glasses and they can do the QR or document scanning or whatever the ticket pass may be at the time in order to check the person in. As stated in the video, it has the capability of screening 10 people per second and up to 1,000 people per minute. Obviously, we're not going to need to do 1,000 people per minute, but it does have that capability to render those skills, technological skills. But, you know, it also has that safe distance. And the thing about it is, you know, unlike fixed units, which can be cumbersome to move, you can take these anywhere with you. You know, in a scenario with a cruise ship, for example, you know, the same glasses which can be used in a terminal scenario can be used shipboard, can be used at the gangway as well. Let's say after a ship sails from a particular port, they still want to be able to monitor guests while the shipboard security or whichever individuals are assigned to wear the glasses can just have them on around the ship. It can tie into facial recognition if they wish it to. If they don't, they can turn that off, but they can still read the temperature of guests and scan very efficiently. That's really the big thing about this. It's extremely efficient. It's multifunctional. One of the other aspects here, which we didn't cover in the video, that the glasses can do as well, is you can have a direct real-time linkage with it. You know, a couple of examples would be, let's say the shipboard physician has a case with a particular patient and that physician wants to see about gaining an alternative opinion. The doctor can actually wear the glasses and interface with another specialist somewhere shoreside. If there is, let's say in the engine room, you know, there's a particular part that the engineer is having an issue with that may require reordering or may need some maintenance on it, then he can wear the glasses or she can wear the glasses, look at what they're working on, and then, you know, the specialist somewhere, anywhere in the world can work with them in real time while they use it. So, you know, unlike, you know, some of the biosecurity methods that are out there, they have one specific function and they may be great for that specific function. But in the case with this, not only can you do thermal reading, not only can you do facial recognition, not only can you do, you know, QR as well as document reading with it, it can also be used in a real-time scenario. You know, the glasses are used in some airports, like in Dubai, Argentina. There's some police departments in Italy. There's Singapore subway system, which employ these glasses as well. They're very new, they're very cutting edge on it. And we just see it as something quite viable for the type of business that we're in, whether it's the cruise ships or whether it may be destinations that, you know, it could be a large venue where thousands of people move through to efficiently look at them. What I'm going to do at this point in time, I'm going to turn over to Felipe Lopez. He's got a PDF. He'll cover through some of the elements in that PDF or items that we've already covered. So we hope we're not too redundant with it. And then following the PDF, what we'll do is I can show you the glasses up close, some of the interfacing elements, how easy they work, and just some of the specs on it. Just so you know, the glasses are extremely lightweight. They only weigh 90 grams, which is 0.19 of a pound. So they're very comfortable to wear. And then there will be Q&A after we finish there. So I'll turn it over to Felipe now so we can do the PDF.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon to everybody. My name is Felipe Lopez. I'm based right now, or trapped right now here in Colombia because our airports are closed. I should be in Miami. Today I'm going to be talking about a little bit more about the glasses. One of the main things that I always start with whenever I start talking about the product, and I stress this a lot, and it's the word early, because when we're talking about prevention and the control of infectious diseases, everything needs to be done very early. And with the word early, it also comes the word fast. And that's what our hardware does. You know, it makes the process of doing a measurement of temperature very fast. And not only fast, but accurate, because that's the second thing. So when we try to control a disease, we always want an early discovery, early report, early isolation, and of course an early treatment. If we cover all of this, we're gonna prevent the diffusion and cut off the transmission, which is what we want to do with all of these processes that we have in place to prevent COVID-19. One of the cheapest ways of preventing this is the measurement of temperature. A high temperature not always will give you a positive case of COVID-19, but it will actually help you filter your spectrum of people so that you can actually test them or go into a further examination to avoid, of course, the diffusion and to cut off the transmission of the disease. And that's why the temperature measurement is a very important part of the process when we talk about preventing infectious diseases. Nowadays, we have the manual or the traditional temperature measurements, which we have the popular guns that we've all have seen all around. And one of the disadvantages with this is that you have an inefficient use of time and energy. And not only that, but as Tony was mentioning earlier, you are not respecting the social distancing, and the actual person that's doing the measurement of the temperature is also being exposed to the disease. The cross infection also due to the lack of social distancing between the people that are doing the queue, for example, to have their temperature taking is also one of the major inconveniences that you have with this type of processes. It's not something that you're going to have in place for long term due to its inefficiency. With our hardware, you can have the social distancing, you can do it in an accurate way, you can do it in a fast way. You don't need to be investing, for example, on logistics to put a portal in place. You don't have to organize in a very precise way your queue of people. You know, I always, I'm a big fan, I'm an industrial engineer, and I'm a big fan of queues. And I always see that this is like a process of queue, like a queue process. You know, in a queue process, you have two constants. The constant or the rate at what the people arrive into your system, and the rate that the cashier or the actual operator will attend that person. The cashier or operator in this case is the person doing the measurement. And if too many people start coming and you're too slow attending the people that you're measuring, basically your whole line is going to be collapsing, and that's when you're going to have problems. That's when you're going to have low customer service. Comments about the lack of efficiency and fastness doing this. You're interrupting the actual normal circumstance where the passenger is actually trying to enjoy a vacation, and you're actually interfering with the temperature measurement. Or, for example, in the case of a portal, you're actually showing to the passenger that there is a real danger. You're actually predisposing the passenger to an attitude of COVID-19 when you could be doing this in a much more relaxed way, like walking around, just literally directing your face to the passenger, and in milliseconds you can have the temperature of the person immediately in the visor of your glasses. You can also do this, of course, through the thermal cameras. But the problem with the thermal cameras is that once you detect, you also have to have a team that will actually go and respond to it. You know, it's not immediate. And that's one of the things that, for example, with the glasses, you are the own team. You might have maybe a second person by your side to actually back you up. If you have a whole queue and you detect somebody, the second person will stop the queue while you can take to a second filter the person that you actually detected with a high temperature. But it's a much faster, non-intrusive process compared to the fixed, for example, fixed thermal cameras. So here we got a picture of the hardware. One of the main things for you to focus is the thermal camera right over here. And here we got in the center, the second module, which you can use to read QR codes. And right here, you got a shade of the visor, which is what you have in here. And that's where you actually are projecting everything that you're seeing through the center camera or through the thermal camera. Um, Tony was mentioning, and I was also mentioning before, this is a quick body temperature monitoring of people in high traffic, because you can literally be doing thousands of people in a couple of minutes. It's ready to use. You actually just wear them and you turn it on and you're ready to use them. You don't have to be a computer engineer to be running this. It constantly calibrates itself, which is also another advantage. You don't need secondary hardware like you would need, for example, with a black body box with a fixed thermal camera. It actually calibrates itself because it uses artificial intelligence algorithms that keep calibrating itself while it's running. The optimal reading distance should be between 1.5 to 2 meters, but you can actually be effective up to 5 and even 6 meters while using the glasses. So it's very easy to be monitoring people, for example, walking through a dining venue, walking at a terminal, through the whole terminal, walking around, examining the different cues that you have when you're, for example, doing a check-in at the beginning of the cruise, or where you're embarking at one of the ports after a port day. So it's very, really, literally very, very easy to use. There's no interruptions on the activity. There's no intrusion, no contact required, absolutely. So basically, you can go, for example, walking through the library of the ship, and you can be monitoring the people inside the library without even disturbing their reading activity. Or, for example, if you have bingo, you can have one of the guys or the security walking around the main theater, and you can actually be monitoring them, while they're playing bingo, and you are having a much more strict filter on every cruise to actually try to prevent the diffusion and cut off transmission. And not only of COVID-19, fever is also, for example, one of the symptoms, for example, for GI cases, which are very, very popular on board ships. So this actually will help you with all of these other diseases. You can scan individual or multiple people at the same time by just clicking, and you will see this on the demo later on with Tony and me. And it's very, very easy to change. Using this hardware, you're optimizing the time and work efficiency in places like I was mentioning, with a high flow of people. This can be easily used on airports, cruise ships, maritime terminals, attractions, theme parks, resort hotels, conference, expo venues. For example, here in Colombia, we're using it with the local water company, and they're using it on their big plants, where they have these processing plants for the water, where they have literally at least 1,000 engineers working, and they're doing permanent rounds to monitor their temperature without interrupting their activity. In harsh conditions, like, for example, over 3,000 meters above sea level on one of the biggest water processing plants here in Bogota. They start literally at 3 a.m. in the morning, and the glasses were well conceived to work under these harsh conditions. We got other customers, such as the Dubai police, where they're working on temperatures over 40 degrees Celsius, measuring the temperature outside. So we shouldn't be having any issues with any of the ports in the Caribbean or summer ports in Europe, where we have these high temperatures to be working with. You also need to keep in mind that when you start comparing, for example, our hardware with fixed thermal cameras, these fixed thermal cameras, they are for inside venues, and our glasses, they can work literally outside. We're, for example, working right now with one of the biggest airlines here in South America, and one of the advantages that they recognized with our hardware was basically that we could do the measurement of the passenger literally when the passenger walks out of the plane on the airports where they don't have bridges. Because normally, for example, here in South America, not all of our airports have those conditions, and the passengers, they literally come out of the plane into the outside atmosphere. They don't go directly into the bridge, because not all of the airports have those conditions. So with our glasses, you could be literally be doing all of these things. Like for example, the passenger can be coming out of the bus, and we can be doing a very accurate measurement of temperature as soon as the passenger comes out of the bus of the excursion, or when the passenger comes out of the ship, we can actually be doing a full measurement outside without being intrusive and without reminding them of the bad situation that we're suffering all around the world. Here's a picture of the glasses. We got the battery pack and the brain of the glasses, which is this one over here. And then we got the camera, the center camera, and we got here the visor, which is this one over here. You can fold them like a normal pair of glasses. They're very light, as Tony mentioned before. We've got different shots here of the product that will allow you to see more about it. And again, Tony will show it later to us. We got here, this is the cable that connects the brain with the glasses and the visor, which is right over here. It also has some proximity sensors that actually detects automatically when you have them on, so that you are not just draining the power for just having your glasses by the side without using them. She actually recognizes when you put them on due to the proximity sensors that it has in there. The weight, like Tony mentioned, 90 grams, which is nothing. It also has speakers integrated into the arms of the glasses. That will actually, for example, if we see a high temperature, it will actually be giving an alarm, an audio alarm that the operator is going to be able to hear, so that he is alert of what's happening. Also, when you're wearing the glasses and you have a high temperature, you're going to be able to see a red alert on it, and we will see it when we do the demo today, when we share our screen with you guys. We got more technical aspects of it that which I don't think they're important at the moment for this webinar, but if you're interested in going into detail into this, you can reach Tony or me, and we can go into detail over it. These are the thermal camera specifications, which are very important for this part of the glasses, which is this sensor here. Or not sensor, camera here, which actually gives you the temperature sensitivity, which is less than 0.04 degrees Celsius, which is very good. And then you got the accuracy, which is around 0.3 degrees Celsius within 2 meters. It should be around 0.2 with the last version, which we just launched maybe 1 or 2 months ago. And you can actually test this, and I always invite all of our customers, if there's a chance that you can be doing a test with a group of people and you can have the hardware of these clinical thermometers that they use, the probes, which are the ones that they use at a hospital or something like that, and you can be comparing the temperatures that the clinical thermometer will be giving you, and you can compare it towards the temperature that our glasses give you. You're going to be seeing how close we are. We're almost identical to that on most of the cases, on the cases that we've done with our customers. So even though this is not a clinical tool or something like that, and it's not meant to be, it's very, very close to the measurements that you have with a clinical thermometer that you might use. And I do invite you that if any of you are interested on doing a demo on land on a one-to-one basis, we can do that, especially because we have our hardware in South Florida, and we can do that very easily. So here we got a summary of a comparison of the traditional temperature measurement compared to the glasses. Like we were mentioning before, we got with the glasses, 10 people can be measured in less than 20 milliseconds. We got in comparison to the traditional process where we can do maybe 10 people in 16 seconds, and that's being very, very conservative. Very, very, very optimistic, sorry. And then we got also a dynamic real-time continuous detection, because you can literally be, for example, going on a Segway and you can be scanning everybody, for example, in a shopping mall. which could be the case, for example, on one of these mega ships, Royal Caribbean mega ships, where you can be literally on a Segway if you wanted to, and just doing a whole round of all of the people on the center atrium or the center part of the ship, where you have all of the shops and you have all of the attractive venues and all of this. We got random measurement of temperature, which you can do very easily by just directing your face to the person that you want to actually measure the temperature. While with a traditional system, you need to arrange them, for example, in a proper queue, and you have to have the logistics, for example, for a portal. You have to move that portal around. It's going to require time and money. It's going to be inefficient. With the glasses, you literally take the glasses and you move on to the other venue or to the other deck to be doing whatever the temperature measurement that you want to do. There's an intelligent automatic temperature detection, which is what I was mentioning, that most of the detection of this temperature is done through artificial intelligence algorithms that keep feeding itself the glasses. Like, for example, if we are in an outside venue, it actually understands that we're outside, and he's going to start calibrating itself to understand that we are not now on an inside venue, but we're in an outside venue. With the traditional temperature, you just got a manual temperature measurement, and you need to be manually graduating, or you need to be using, for example, in the case of the fixed thermal cameras, secondary hardware like the black body kits to actually understand that you must be calibrated every time. Here are the 4 basic advantages, which again, we mentioned them on the video, and Tony mentioned them all on his initial speech. I'm just gonna summarize it. We got here a contactless use of this of the glasses for added security. We got a powerful intelligence for greater precision. They are light, comfortable, and efficient, as you can see with the specs that we just mentioned. And we got various application scenarios where we can apply them. The glasses, you need to imagine them as if they were like a phone. They actually run under Android. That's their operating system. And the same as you have on a phone, you can be developing different apps. So it has an open SDK platform where you can be actually developing any type of app that you can think of. For example, with the airlines right now, we're actually on the first stages of actually understanding their processes, and we're thinking on an app that can actually be reading the QR code of the boarding pass and can actually be feeding the system of the flight at the gate with everything being totally contactless. Even actually linking the QR code of the boarding pass with the actual face of the passenger. So you can do all of these things, developing your own apps using your own engineering team, or you can also go through us, and we can also do it with our engineers to be able to help you. But what you need to understand is that this is an open SDK platform where you can actually be creating whatever you want. We got here the different scenarios that I was explaining to you. The one with the gun, which of course no social distancing, you're exposing the operator to the disease. Then we got the portal. The portals are they once you have them, they are okay. But first of all, the cost, it's not cheap. The cost of moving them is not cheap also, and it's also time consuming. And then of course, we could also have a test for everybody that at the moment, we cannot be doing it to everybody, not only because of the cost, but also because of the time it takes to have a positive or a negative result. And of course, the accuracy of them, right? So that's why we come again to the temperature, which is one of the best ways or most efficient and cheapest ways to understand and start filtering the possible people that have a disease. Here we have an example of one of our guys wearing the glasses. And again, it shows you how easy it can be used, how fast you can be scanning high volume of people. For example, we're right now on the first tests, for example, for the Russian train company, because they want to be using this to monitor all of the passengers that are using the trains in Russia. So this is the type of solutions that where we have high volume that we could be using all of these things. Again, we got the measurement in real time, which we'll show you in a couple of minutes. We can scan 10 people in milliseconds. Again, switch easily from a multiple mode to a single mode with just having a touch a touch mode with the glasses on one of the arms, which we're going to show you later. You can have facial recognition with the center module, and you can also have object recognition. The object recognition for this webinar is not that important, but just to give you an idea, we could even use this with artificial reality. You know, you can be using this, for example, for museums. You can be focusing on different objects, and you can actually be seeing a video here with artificial reality. Again, we can go further into details with all sorts of uses. This is not a thermometer per se. It's a tool that will allow you to do more things than what an actual, for example, fixed thermal camera would be able to use. One of the uses that Tony mentioned, and I want to stress that to you, for example, when it comes to medical aid, like literally the doctor can be examining somebody, and literally in another part of the world, another medical doctor can be giving you another opinion about it. So. We got here the cases where they're using them. They got the Singapore subway. We got the public security in Chile, Argentina airports such as the Buenos Aires airports. We got some towns in Italy using it with the police. We got the Dubai airport and police. We got the in Colombia airport, Bogota and Cartagena. We're just starting our first stages. And then, of course, we got the China police and airports in Shanghai and Guangzhou and Hangzhou. As you see, there's tons of different applications where you could be using this. We got security, education, for example, with universities, logistics, like for example, literally, for example, on a DHL warehouse distribution, we've had tests where actually the operator, when they're loading each of the DHL trucks, they actually have to scan each of the boxes that actually goes into the truck. When you're wearing the glasses have the capability of reading these QR codes of each of the boxes, and without interrupting the whole process of taking the box and putting it inside the truck, you can actually be scanning the QR code with your glasses, which is similar to the process, for example, that I was talking to you about feeding every flight at an airport with the airlines. You can use this at a ferry terminal, exposition halls, shopping centers, different industries, the cruise ship piers, and terminals. So this is the end of my PDF. I hope that my English wasn't that bad. I'm trying to do my best with my English. English is not my first language. Actually, Spanish is my first language. So please excuse me for any grammar errors that I might have made. I'm gonna show you while Tony shows you over the video the glasses in how they look, and in the meantime I'm gonna share my screen here with my glasses also. But in the meantime, Tony can show you how the glasses look in physical version.
Thanks, Felipe. I think your English is better than mine. Anyway, if you can remove the PDF from the screen there on the screen share.
There you go.
I'm just going to hold up the glass, even though there were a number of images there and video as well. I was just going to hold up the glasses so you could see a little bit closer yourself. As we see, these are padded on the arms here, so it adds to the comfort for the wearer as well. And with these, there's a visor here. It's magnetically attaches to the glasses. As previously mentioned by Felipe, there's a thermal camera, which I do have, but it's not attached right now. And then there's the read camera for the QR codes and the documentation. With these visors here, you can actually, I'm wearing prescription glasses. You can wear them over your prescription glasses just fine. However, if you don't want to, then they also come with lenses where you can take these to an optometrist. You attach it just like that. This has a plastic coating on it. That's why it's blue. And so you have these as prescription lenses for the wearer. And these could be for many different individual wearers. What you see here is a heads-up display where what you've seen in the videos where you can read everything there. Over here is the on and off switch. This is the back switch. And actually the touchpad, much like on your telephone or your laptop, is just right here. You just slide back and forth on that there. And of course, here's the cord, and it's a battery pack that connects just to your belt, and very comfortably you put on here. You can wear like that. It's a very simple element to work with. That's one of the other eases with it as well. Anyway, I'll go back to Felipe. He's wearing the first version there. What I had here is the latest update on what is known as Glass 2. He has Glass 1 there, but going forward with any interest, we're solely involved with the Glass 2s.
So this is like the main menu of your, if you may call it your phone. Remember that I was trying to make a comparison. So this is the main menu of the glasses. We got the different applications. One of the most important ones that we're gathered today is due to the thermal vision app. And basically, I'm just using my finger to move over the different apps, right? So we're gonna use, for example, thermal vision, which is the one we're interested. So I literally click on it, and that's it. It's already working, and I can be measuring the temperature of people. Right now, I don't have people around me, but I have this lamp there that you're seeing. So actually, I just direct my face, and I have the temperature for that. And it actually goes high, of course, because it's programmed for fever. But I don't have to, it doesn't take nothing. I don't know if you have a big delay there with the internet connection, but it's very fast. I literally go to look at the lamp, and it gives me the temperature immediately. You see? It's very easy. So it's the same case with a person. And again, I do invite you, for those of you who are in South Florida and would like to try them on and would like to have a demo with it, we can certainly do it for you. And it's very, very easy. There's different apps. Go ahead, Tony.
I was going to say, if you just wanted to back up a moment, and you can see, scroll through the icons that are on the heads-up display, so people can, the attendees can see what we're looking at beyond the thermal imaging. And this is all, see where it has thermal imaging, it'll have quick scan. And if you go back to the other direction there, facial ID. So this is what's on display right here in front of you. That's what he's looking through on your display there.
You can take pictures, you can take videos, you can upload them, you can send them via the internet. If you got, for example, a problem with the engine, like Tony was saying, and you want to have, and you are in the middle of the Med, and you have somebody, I don't know, in Miami that wants to see it, the actual engineer can be wearing this, and he can be looking at the engine, and they can actually be interacting with it. There's all sorts of applications that, again, basically it's up to your imagination. When it comes to this industry, we thought about the thermal vision, we thought about the medical aid assistance, we got about also the different the different monitoring of the different activities that you have on board, that you could be doing this, for example, reporting to your headquarters inland, as long as you got a decent or a fast internet connection, which nowadays on the new ships, there's almost no difference between a land connection and an onboard ship connection. They're almost nowadays very, very, very fast. What else am I missing here, Tony? Am I missing something else?
Well, we're focused on the security elements of it. We know that it can also be expanded into getting involved into augmented reality with it. You may have seen, in some of the icons that went by there, like comic book, for example. If you wanted to get into, games, let's say, you can actually be a part of that game, if you will, through the augmented reality. But we're not looking to get into that at this point. We see it purely as an extremely effective tool in what we're dealing with right now, that, it's highly efficient. It gives great flexibility in its use, and it's multiple use. Like I said before, all the protocols that are out there, they all have merits, and they have their specific functions out there. as does this. This one has a broader approach and broader appeal, and that's why we see it, being employed in high volume areas like airports and with police departments and so forth. So we thought it was perfect for our industry, both for shipboard use and then also, for destinations as well, for those ones that handle tremendous number of people at a short period of time.
Here we got the different modes, like for example, that mode that I just put in, it's a smaller mode that actually gives you like a picture-in-picture inside the visor here, which allows you to have at least a break on your eye, because it's like when you are working on your computer, after a couple of hours, your eyes turn to tire themselves. So this picture-in-picture actually helps you relax your vision and doesn't tire you that much. So that's why they got that second module or option here. And then of course we got the multiple option, which is if we have like 4 or 5 people at the same time, we would actually see the measurement of those 4 or 5 people at the same time. And again, for this, I do invite you to do a test one-on-one. We have hardware available in Florida for you. So it's just a matter of getting in contact with any of us to coordinate that. The burning time that you see in here, that's basically like, normally it's recommended to have it for 10 minutes, which is basically feeding up the system with the different things going all around so that it's actually 100% accurate. But from the second one that it's powered on, the glasses have the capacity to give you a pretty good idea of the temperature that you're trying to measure. But this only happens every time that you run the app. You don't have to be doing it like every hour or so. No, if I started this and I go for 4 or 6 hours, on those 4 or 6 hours, the only time that I had the burning calibration, if you may call it like that, is gonna be only at the first moment. You don't have to be doing it every hour, every 2 hours, or every 4 hours, or every 6 hours. It's done automatically every time you just go into the app. Okay, so I think that's it for this. So do you have anything else to add, Tony?
No, I don't. No, thank you very much, Felipe. That was an excellent presentation.
Thank you very much. So if you have any questions, I don't know, we're here fully available for that.
Hey guys, thank you so much. That was awesome. Some great technology. All I remember is in the comic books in my day and age, which was a long time ago, was X-ray vision glasses. So I may have to get a pair. But no, awesome stuff. Before we lead on into questions, I'm going to do a quick poll for everybody, and then Tom will take us into the questions for Felipe and Tony. So here we go on the polling. Tom?
Okay. We received some questions during the session, also received some in advance. So let me just cover a few as we go. We don't have tons of time, but hopefully we can fill in most of it. How long does the battery last?
The battery, it depends also, of course, on its use. It's the same way that your cell phone works. You got a standby time, and you also got your usage time. It's not the same if you're talking all the day on your phone, or if you just are using it to text, or if you used it for a Zoom meeting from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. On an average, the time that it will last, the battery pack on the glasses should be anywhere between 4 to 6 hours. But you can also connect any of these battery packs that you use to charge your phones, and you can actually connect it. And as long as you have one of these battery packs connected to our battery pack, or the brain that Tony showed us before. I don't know, Tony, do you have the battery pack there that you can show it?
Yeah. Right here.
So you can actually connect to that an external battery, and you can also be working on it, and it will be charging the battery of the glasses, and it will be taking out the battery of your battery pack. So as long as you got this, you could be even working for 24 hours on that. It's not a big deal for it.
The technology seems, for the user, it seems quite simple and straightforward, but I'm sure when you're actually using it, it takes a little bit of skill and training to make sure that you're using it and understanding it correctly. Is there a tutorial that goes with it, or is there classroom training, or how do you make sure that your team is, before they put those glasses on, that they are trained to manage the glasses?
The glasses do have an option where they actually have a video that's being projected in here, and it actually shows you on real time, or what we call augmented reality, the way to actually operate them. We also have our support via Zoom or via videos that you can do, which is very, very easy. I'm gonna tell you my experience, for example, with literally with security guards here in South America, that it's not the same type of security guard that you might find in the US. The security guard here in South America, it doesn't even have high school. So actually the time it took us to actually train this type of security guards here in South America, more specifically here in Bogota, it took us literally no more than 5 to 10 minutes to actually teach them how to use this. This was literally made for people with no big scholarity or a huge scholarity with a lot of degrees. No, this was done for basic people that can actually be just wearing them and understanding how to use a touch menu, and that's it. That's all you need to be knowing to run this. So it's very, very easy.
Okay. Gabriel asked, is this product affordable for an independent taxi or small tour operators with just a couple of small buses?
It depends on what you on the type of solution that you want. You need to be focusing here more on a high volume and accuracy. That's what you need to be focusing, because if you're going to be operating a taxi where you're going to have 1 or 2 people, I don't think this is the right tool for you. You know, yeah. This will work, for example, for, I don't know, I'm thinking at least 30 people plus, 20 people plus, where you're going to be seeing that you need fast results for this.
So it's really high volume and kind of surges. Do you collect any of the data? Is there a dashboard function, or is there a way to kind of roll up the data, or is it kind of real time and then you respond to whatever the information is?
Due to privacy concerns, we don't collect anything. We don't collect absolutely anything, any information about it. What you can collect, and that's the thing, is that, for example, if you have a high case of fever, you might want to make a video of the incident, so that you can actually document your final file of why you took out that person out of the queue to actually take them for a second examination. And that you can do, and you can actually save them internally into the glasses. You don't even have to upload them if you don't want to, for privacy concerns, and you can just do whatever you want with that video, same as you would do, for example, with the cameras that do the tickets for when you do a traffic violation or something like that. It's the same thing.
Okay. What maintenance is done to ensure that it's calibrated? I mean, it's great that you look out there and it's highlighting if someone has a temperature or not, but how do you know from, one day to the next or 1 hour to the next that it's reading correctly and accurately?
It's like I told you, it works with artificial intelligence algorithms. So it automatically it updates itself, or it calibrates itself every time that you're using it. It doesn't require any type of extra maintenance. It's like me asking you, what maintenance does your phone need? Apart from charging it, keeping it clean, and not throwing it to the floor, and not throwing water into it, it doesn't require anything else.
Is there any need for a cell phone hotspot with this?
You don't require any network connection, because actually the glasses can literally, you just turn them on, you wear them, and they start working as long as you got battery power. But if you want, for example, to do what I just did here, which was sharing what you just saw on what I'm seeing with you guys on the computer, you're going to need a network connection. And if I want to be sending that outside, that network connection will need, of course, an internet connection, because you can always, because there's a big difference between having a wireless network connection and a wireless network connection with internet access so that you can actually send it to another remote place. Like for example, in the case that we spoke about, the engineer trying to transmit to the headquarters in Miami of what's going on with the engine. If they want to do that, they're going to require internet connection to be able to transmit that, or at least IP connection between the ship and the headquarters in Miami, which would be even better and would be a much more faster connection, which can be also done. But that's up to the IT department of the customer, you know.
Okay. Does it work as well at night as in the day?
It actually even works better at night, because remember that this is a thermal. It's like, for example, when the special forces wear the thermal visors to actually detect people inside, and they actually use them because they are much more reliable in the night, and you're going to be able to see them much easier. So of course it does work in the night because it's thermal. Remember, it's thermal. It's not a normal camera trying to catch up an image.
Okay.
And it can also work, of course, in the middle of the sun. And that's why, for example, Tony, can you show them the first visors that are for the sun, which actually helps them look better, have a better vision here on the visor, which is the first visors that you have in the front. And those first visors that Tony is wearing, that's precisely, for example, for the sunlight, so that you actually have a better vision here. Because remember that the visor is like a video beam. You know, the video beam, if you have too much light, you're not going to be able to see. But this is a very powerful video beam. Even under the most sparkling sun, you still see the vision here. Again, I do invite you, if you are interested, to have a one-on-one sample test. They are widely available for you to test them and understand what I'm telling you.
Okay. Here's the $1,000 question. What is the price, even a ballpark number, under 1,000, between 1,000 and 2,000, over 2,000?
It's over 2,000, of course. It's more under the region between the 4,000 and the 5,000. You need to keep in mind that if you compare this to a portal, the portal, a good portal should be in the region of the 5,000 to the 10,000 and even $15,000. And I had that experience, for example, here at the Bogota International Airport. They use these Westminster cameras, the British ones, which are one of the best, and they're one of the widely used all around the airports around the world nowadays. And this portal all alone is normally around $14,000, $15,000 just for the portal. And this portal, to be moved all around, you don't just take the glasses and go to another gate. No, you require time to do this, and it also requires to be calibrated every 2 hours, every 3 hours or so. So it's not and it requires also the black body kit, and the black body kit is even an extra cost. So if you compare it to all of these other solutions, I think that our solution is not only a solution that you can use for COVID-19, but you can also use it for future purposes. Well, a portal of this, I can guarantee you that 2 or 3 years from now, I doubt it that we're going to be using these portals, because most likely we're going to be back into our old normality of before COVID-19. So this is a tool that you can still be using for other things.
Well, that's one of the things I like about it is it keeps the worker, it keeps your team safe while they're taking these temperatures as well. One last question. You talked about facial recognition as one of the options on the glasses. Do you know how facial recognition works with face masks? Does it still work there, or?
Yeah, we made some tests a couple of weeks ago here in Colombia at the airport in Bogota, because we wanted to do facial recognition of actually the passenger that actually gets to the airport. The agent at the airport would recognize that passenger because the passenger had previously updated with an app his face on an app of the airport. So basically, the operator would be looking at the passenger coming, and it would automatically get in on its visor the boarding pass, and the local ID. And we got that same question, what would happen every time that everybody would be approaching and they would be wearing the breathing mask? For example, here in Colombia, it's the law to be wearing this at every time when you get out of your house. And we made the test, and even though we couldn't recognize, we couldn't recognize 100% of all of them, what we did with the breathing mask, what we did find out is that when we started uploading the database of the facial recognition so that the actual glasses would be comparing the actual face that was uploaded and what the glasses were reading, we found out that if we took the picture of the person with the breathing mask and it was actually comparing, it would actually be 100%. So if you upload into your database the person with the facial mask, with this part of the face, and actually the system actually recognizes that you're wearing a breathing mask, you can have a very pretty accurate facial recognition case.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Larry, I'll turn it over to you. I've taken every minute possible.
Yeah, we are a little over, but I do want to say I know there is some questions that we got on email as well as maybe some on the list that we'll follow up on our email blast back out to provide some feedback on any of those. But Tony and Felipe, many thanks again for showcasing the product. It's awesome. Anxious to follow up with those folks that asked for further detail on it. So again, thanks so much. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much.
We look forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks on Wednesday, September 30th, featuring generating incremental revenue during the pandemic. As the pandemic has devastated the travel and tourism sector, some innovative tour operators have found new opportunities. Learn how one creative tour operator responded to the pandemic by pivoting the business and generating new incremental revenue. Please visit our website, www.destinationstogether.com, to register for this webinar. Please don't hesitate to share our website with others. It is open to everybody. Many thanks to you all for your continued support. Tom and I really appreciate it. Be strong, be safe, be healthy. Again, Tony and Felipe, many thanks. Appreciate you being here. Tom?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Tony, Felipe, thank you very much. Awesome presentation, fascinating technology. And to all the listeners out there, thank you for your support and your participation. Until next time, stay healthy and take care of each other. Bye.
Destination together.